Hello, I'm Kaiser Clay, and I'm going to keep this part short and sweet because I know it's the part of the video that you actually want to see if you are having these problems with the 2005 first-person shooter Starship Troopers game. First things first, you have to get a copy of the game. I can't tell you where to get it, but I can tell you I got my copy of the game that is functionally abandonware on somewhere on the internet. And as with most of those websites, they end in the suffix .com. Anyway, I'm also assuming that you're running the most updated version by the community and all that. All right, so first things first, you go to this website, lucasc.me. You go to his Area 51 article. Scroll all the way down here. Scroll. At these DirectX 9 wrappers. You're going to get a zip file with these files in them, with these things. Copy all of this. I mean, you don't necessarily, I don't think you have to copy all of them. It's just kind of easier if you do it like that. In this case, I'm just replacing the same ones with the same ones over again. And now the graphical glitches that are in the game should be perfectly fine. They should work properly now. Now it's a bit of a story time for the people who are interested in that sort of thing and how I found this solution. So a couple days ago, I was thinking about the game Area 51 in 2005, or from 2005, because I remember it got a weird amount of marketing push, primarily because David Duchovny and Marilyn Manson voice acted in it. So I went to go find it, and the game is freeware now because, as this article will tell you, it got sponsored along with another game that I really liked, Rise and Fall: Civilizations at War. It got sponsored by the US Air Force, and it was just available for free. So the problem was you can sort of technically run it in Windows 10, but basically, because it was using because it is, I should say, is using an old version of DirectX, it uses DirectX 9, it relies on certain GPU capabilities that they just don't really do anymore. Things have gotten a lot more standardized in how things are rendered. So you had to download extra files in order to make it work. But the community recommended ones did not work properly. Not for me anyway. Or at least they didn't work perfectly. The textures worked, but it ran at a terrible frame rate. Frames per minute tier shit. So anyway, that led me to this itch.io page and this comment, which took me to this website. And the Starship Troopers game came out the same year. And I was having very similar graphical issues with it, specifically the carapace of the baby plasma bugs, the blasters, the cliff mites, the flare things that flashbang you and are really obnoxious. Those all had broken textures, as well as, for some reason, certain ones like the light strips would be completely invisible, and you would just on the ship that you start out on, and you would just look straight on into space. But that, or I should say Starship Troopers, the game also had its own community recommended solutions. And I don't know if they're hardware specific. I haven't heard anything about that. I do know that when you start the game, there is a specific splash video that plays about NVIDIA, back when their tagline was the way it's meant to be played. So maybe it is just weird driver compatibility stuff. I don't know. But the point is that the solution, that Wine D3D solution that the community recommended, didn't work for me because it caused the broken textures that I described a minute ago. If you play the game without Wine D3D, the whole thing is broken in much more fundamental ways that I'm not going to get into because it's not even worth talking about. Now, there was another solution on the PC Gaming Wiki that technically worked better. The textures all worked, but it made the game super dark. Like there was this tint across the whole screen that just made everything darker, which wouldn't be a huge deal necessarily, except the game doesn't have in-game brightness options, so you can't even like, do anything like that. You can't even just change it after that. So, after agonizing over it for basically an entire Saturday, a thought popped into my head. I thought, what if I just use the solution that I had for Area 51 in Starship Troopers? I mean, DirectX is DirectX, right? It should just, the translation should just translate. And shockingly enough, it did. And it's the gameplay that I will be showing you on screen that I got from the Area 51 solution. So, hopefully this is helpful to you. I can't imagine that the solution came obviously to other people, so I'm sharing it in the hopes that other people are able to play this decidedly 3 or 4 out of 10 game.